Go.
Welcome to another episode of MDS Realtor. This week's we're going to chat about the brokerage that we chose. So my brokerage of choice is Sutton Group Admiral Realty Inc. What about yours?
Well, mine is Century 21 Atria Realty Inc.
And mine is Hyman Realty Inc.
So let's chat about some of the criteria that we were considering when we were picking brokerages. I think one of the top criteria that everybody would consider, or for myself that I consider, was the fees to join a brokerage. What are some of the others that you guys were considering?
The training that they have in place, what they have in terms of technology that they're providing, the platform, marketing. Do we have any in-house or not, or everything is on our own?
For myself, lead generation was important. So, having a brokerage that would, yes, you need to generate your own leads, but also having a brokerage that would support you in that initiative. That was one of the main criteria, especially us being new agents, right? We need that support and expertise from the experienced agents to help us through that process.
For sure. I felt like I had to pick my brokerage during COVID time, so it was really hard to kind of trim it down, because it wasn't like you could meet all of them or just go to their office, to do so. So it's hard to tell what kind of training they provide or what kind of, relationships that you had. I think with Sutton's Group Admiral, I actually went to the office and saw the layout, met the broker, and that kind of helped me decide in a sense. But what about you? I know that, we were kind of navigating our course towards, in the midst of COVID and the pandemic as well. So did that impact your selections or how you picked?
Oh, for sure. For me, I remembered I did get to go in to meet with a couple of different managers for different brokerages. With Century 21, I actually had a Zoom meeting. Well, my first meeting was with one of the manager, and it was just through a Zoom meeting. And after speaking to him, I let him know that I wanted to see the one of the office, because we have 3 offices, so downtown, North York, and Richmond Hill. I'm more interested in the Richmond Hill being closer to where I am right now. So he was really kind. He actually made an arrangement with the owner, and I get to go in, and he showed me around. I mean, at the time, the office were all closed. It was just by appointment, and it's only for like agent coming in. It's not open to the public. But allowing me that time to go in and see the office was really good, because I get the feel. And speaking in person is very different than just meeting someone over Zoom, for sure. With the first meeting is fine, but to get into more in depth, for sure, being in person is definitely beat all, right?
Yeah. Myself, yeah. And myself, I had the opportunity to meet the broker at Hyman Realty firsthand. I was at one point their client, and just that personal experience during that transaction made me realize that, when I become a realtor, I want my clients to have that same type of experience. And, that would include just the honesty throughout the transaction, lots of transparency, fair communication. And it just made me feel like this broker, and subsequently the brokerage, was working for me. And that was really important to me.
Yeah. I think, in the midst of this, I know that we had classmates who already had brokerage in mind when they joined. So they had a team to go to, which is comforting. Some agent actually, join because they have a destination or a brokerage that they had in mind to join. And then others, what I recommend is that you do have conversations and meet with them, because as much as there are franchise names, there are a lot of independent brokerages that are run differently in a sense, and you have to really build that connection. I think one of the beautiful things you mentioned, Don, was that you had experience with the broker who is running this brokerage and you really value kind of, some of the traits or characteristics that she emulated, and you really want to make sure that your client felt the same way. And without speaking to a number of brokerages or broker, I don't think you get that sense. And I felt like I missed a lot of that to a certain extent because of COVID and the pandemic, and it kind of limit our ability to kind of go into these offices and make those one-on-one connections as much as possible. I know, Molly, you started a little early and you were able to see some. Did you feel like you had enough time to decide?
I think if there were more time, probably continue to search, but I know that after speaking with the manager at Century 21, I was already like leaning towards them. It was more concerning, will I be able to fit in terms of will I get the support that they're telling me that I'll be getting? So that was my concern. But looking at Century 21 Atria themselves being, with the 3 offices that they have, and we are among the top in Canada. And so I felt that something must be right? Like they're running it great. So I just need to go in there and learn their system and get on with it. So I'm happy with my choice. Hoping to continue and learn more and build more from there.
Yeah, definitely lots to learn, lots of platforms to learn, lots of new systems to learn, not only from a brokerage standpoint, but I feel like, the industry as a whole as well. So let's wrap this up as the sessions. And if we were to pick the top 4 criteria that, or approach that we recommend other agents with selecting a brokerages, what would it be? For me, I think the number 1 recommendations is talk to as many as you can, so that you can see if you can build that connections and have the confidence to be able to say that this is the brokerage that I want to emulate or be able to proudly represent. What about you guys?
Certainly for myself.
Don, go ahead.
Yeah, certainly for myself. I wanted to make sure, I think it's important for you to make a connection with your broker or your manager, just so that you know going down the road, because your relationship hopefully will expand beyond 12 months to 24 months. So you want to be comfortable with the brokerage that you choose, and certainly the training is extremely important. So it's important that you're comfortable in the interview process when you ask the right questions, and once you hit the ground running, that you work with your manager or broker to make sure you partake in those training and get those real life experiences.
Yes, and definitely you have to meet with the managers to know the team, to know what they have to offer you, to know how you can, who you can get a hold of if you have problems, how do things run, and by speaking to them, you can actually you learn a lot because they're sharing with you what they can provide to you, right? Definitely ask questions and at the same time let them share with you what they have to offer you.
Yes, and they should share a training plan as well. So in the interview process, they will say, or they should say, this is our training plan for new agents, right? And there's different levels for sure, depending on whether you're a new agent, whether you're an experienced agent, because again, each agent is an individual, and their experiences may not require them to start from scratch. So it's important to understand what the training entails. And for myself at Hyman Realty, my broker indicated that she was going to do the training. She wasn't going to pass me on to anybody else. She, because she wanted me to model all the principles for that brokerage, and that was very important to me to make sure that I had someone dedicated to working with me to become a terrific agent.
Yeah, I think, Mala and I had this conversation as well. One of the key things that we were looking at in terms of a franchise was the infrastructure. We wanted to, join a brokerage large enough that had the core infrastructures in terms of the technology, the platforms, so that we can learn and execute it without having to kind of navigate and explore it all on our own in that sense. And I think, you know, Sutton's and C21 kind of had that. I know that we had to learn a lot of tools, new tools, but they've been super, super helpful with us being able to launch ourself as agents and learning that technology as well.
Agreed.
So that wraps up our episode on brokerages. I know that, you know, every agent's journey is a little different. Feel free to comment below. What are some of the criteria that you look for when you're looking for a brokerage to join? If you have any questions as a new agent, what you should look out for in terms of, you know, joining a brokerage, definitely comment below and hit that subscribe buttons and that bell notification so that you can check in to our weekly videos on an ongoing basis. So until next time, take care.
Thank you for watching.